Stop lying to yourself. $4,000 a month is not enough anymore. And it's not because you're bad with money. The system is broken. Prices keep climbing, rent keeps rising, wages barely move, and somehow the finish line keeps sprinting further away while you are hustling harder than ever. You are doing everything right, yet freedom feels like a joke. Nights out, vacations, even a simple dinner with friends. They feel impossible. In this video, we're exposing why exactly $4,000 doesn't stretch like it used to, the psychological toll it takes, and the mindset shift you need that actually gives you control, even without earning more. I remember the first time I consistently made $4,000. Not a lucky month, not a one-time thing, not something I had to question if it would happen again. A real money. The kind that lands in your account and you expect it to show up again next month. I didn't throw a party or post about it, but in my head, I crossed a line. 4,000 felt like the number where life stops being so tense. Where you stop holding your breath, where the money stops being the main character in your thoughts. For about a week, it worked. I remember opening my bank app just to look at it. Not to check if I could afford something, but because I could. I thought, okay, this is stability. This is adulthood. This is finally where it gets easier. Then the month kept moving forward. Automatic payments started posting, groceries, rent, insurance, transportation. Nothing dramatic happened, no mistake, no reckless spending, and somehow that feeling of I made it disappeared. By the third week, I was doing the quiet math again. The kind where you are not planning a vacation, but just making sure that nothing unexpected happens. That's when the thought landed and didn't leave. Why does $4,000 feels like nothing? So let's not stay abstract, let's talk numbers, because that's where it stops being motivational and starts being uncomfortable. Let's say rent is $1,700, not luxury, not downtown, just normal. Utilities, internet, phone, $350, car payment, insurance, gas, another $700. Groceries, if you are not shopping fancy, maybe $450, and if you're actually trying, health insurance by itself can be easily $300. We are already at $3,500, and nothing special has happened yet. No emergencies, no trips, no big purchases. Now add subscriptions and modern necessities. Cloud storage, banking apps, work tools, subscriptions you barely use but don't cancel if, well, what if you need it? That's another $200. That brings us to $3,700, which leaves $300? Not for investing, not for building wealth, for absorbing life, for birthdays, clothes, dentist visits, car repairs, savings, and the occasional reminder that you're actually allowed to enjoy being alive. One unexpected expense wipes it out completely. One problem resets the month. So when people say $4,000 is a good money, what they actually mean is that it used to be. You've heard it 1,000 times. Just make more money and everything will be easier. It's the one piece of advice that keeps showing up in every self-help article, every career seminar, and every conversation about money. But here is the thing. It's a lie. Plain and simple. It used to be true. There was a time when earning more actually gave you a breathing room. When a race meant relief. When hitting the next milestone felt like a progress. You could feel it. Life felt lighter. But that time is gone. The world changed, and no one told you. The lie kept circulating. People still tell it because it's comforting, because we want it to be true. We want to believe that if we just work harder, hustle longer, chase the next paycheck, life will finally feel easier. So you chase it. You take the promotion, you work extra hours, you get the raise. And what happens? Nothing. The relief you expected doesn't come. The sense of freedom, it never arrives. And here is the coolest part. You keep believing it will. You keep running. You think the next race, the next income level, the next milestone will finally be the one that changes everything. But it never is. That's the lie, the one nobody admits. More money doesn't automatically make life easier. And until you see it for what it really is, you'll keep chasing it, thinking freedom is just around the corner. But here is more to it. Your money is losing power. Every month, without you noticing, the same paycheck buys less and less. And that's, my friend, why $4,000 today doesn't feel anything like $4,000 it used to. Inflation is a boring word for something that messes with your head. Because numbers stayed the same, $4,000 still look like $4,000, but it doesn't behave the same. In 2015, that number meant margin. You could pay your bills, save a little, and say yes, sometimes without panicking. Now, every dollar feels like it's already spoken for before you even see it. Money doesn't open doors anymore, it just keeps the doors from closing. You're not planning for fun, you're patching holes. Nights out, dinners with friends, even a casual weekend trip that used to feel normal, those suddenly feel like luxuries you can't afford anymore. A night out that cost $50 per person in 2015 now runs $80 to $100. Drinks, cover charges, rides home. The math adds up faster than your paycheck. You're not living, you're surviving, and yet everyone calls it a lifestyle creep, as if the problem is you. But your lifestyle didn't creep. Survival did. Rent didn't double because you wanted luxury. A room with a roommate that was $700 in 2015 now costs $1,400. Groceries didn't spike because you developed an expensive taste. Your weekly shopping that cost $70 now easily hits 120. And insurance didn't go up because you got greedy. Life just started charging more for the same experience, and calling it a personal failure is convenient for everyone except the person living it. You see, the real problem isn't just what your money can buy, it's what it doesn't buy. A sense of security, freedom, and peace of mind. Because when you're always juggling, always stretching, always reacting, that pressure starts to live in your head. And that's where the cost really shows up. Here's what nobody prepares you for. Not being broke doesn't mean you're safe. You pay your bills on time, you do everything you're supposed to, and yet one unexpected expense, a car repair, a medical bill, or even a forgotten subscription can throw everything off balance. Your body never fully relaxes. You're always braced, always calculating, always postponing, always wondering if the next month will finally be different. You stop dreaming. Long-term plans feels risky. Vacations, nights out, little luxuries. Everything goes on hold. Even a simple dinner with friends feels like a gamble because you know your budget is stretched thin. That constant maintenance wears you down quietly, slowly. Your brain never switches off. It's a treadmill running 24/7, calculating every dollar, every decision, every unexpected cost. You've felt it, haven't you? That invisible pressure, that nagging feeling of never being ahead, of your paycheck evaporating before you even notice. That stress isn't just in your head, it's real. But here is the truth. It's not your fault. You've been trying to play a game where the rules changed without warning. Once you see that, something shifts. You stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking that everyone else has it all figured out. You start seeing your money, your choices, your situation for what they really are. And that's where the real power begins. Not in earning more, not in hustling harder, but in clarity. Clarity about your money, your limits, and your options. And that clarity, that's what changes everything. It's the first step to taking control even without a race. Here is the truth most people never hear. Freedom doesn't come from earning more. It comes from understanding where exactly you are, what's really happening with your money, and taking control, even with the paycheck you already have. Step 1. Reframe your income. Stop thinking of your paycheck as a reflection of your worth. $4,000 didn't fail you. The economy outgrew it. Prices rose, rent climbed, groceries cost more, and lifestyle expenses snuck up on you. Seeing this clearly stops the shame and guilt from creeping in. Step 2. See your expenses objectively. Make a simple list. Essentials versus discretionary spending. Once you see exactly where every dollar goes, you stop feeling trapped and start making intentional choices. Awareness is what gives you leverage. Step 3. Shift from why me to What now? Life throws unexpected costs at everyone. Instead of spiraling into frustration, ask, what is my next move? That tiny mental pivot changes stress into action and panic into planning. Step 4, visualize control, not comparison. Forget what everyone else seems to have. Map out your own money, your income, savings, priorities. Seeing it in front of you makes decisions tangible. Suddenly you know where you stand and what's possible. Step 5, internalize the bigger picture. Inflation, lifestyle creep, rising costs, they're not your fault. Your efforts still matter, even if $4,000 doesn't feel like it used to. Recognizing this removes guilt and opens space where clarity, control, and freedom can actually exist. Once you make this shift, everything changes. You stop shaming yourself, you stop feeling behind, you stop thinking that everyone else has a secret you don't. You start building control, momentum, and finally, the breathing room that feels like freedom, even without a bigger paycheck. And as you start acting with clarity, you begin to notice something important. It wasn't just your choices holding you back. The system itself has quietly raised the bar, moved the goalposts, and quietly reshaped what enough looks like. Suddenly, the stress, the comparison, the feeling of never getting ahead, it's no longer just personal. It's structural. And realizing that opens the door to a question that most of us never stop to ask. If $4,000 feels like nothing, then the real question isn't about the number. The real question is, what does enough even mean anymore? Enough to stop comparing yourself to others, enough to breathe without anxiety, enough to feel safe. Because the system has quietly redefined it, and most of us are running the race thinking the finish line is somewhere inside us, when it's actually being moved far out of reach. And who benefits from us believing this is our fault? Who profits from guilt, stress, and constant striving? As long as we internalize these pressures, nothing changes. We blame ourselves, we hustle harder, we tighten our belts. And the structural problem, wages that don't keep up, costs that climb faster than logic, keeps running in the background, invisible. This isn't about giving up, it is about seeing reality clearly, and clarity gives you power. Once you stop treating a broken system like a personal flaw, something subtle but radical happens. You start breathing differently. You notice choices you didn't see before. You recognize control that you thought was none. You stop punishing yourself for being a part of the game you never agreed to play. If you're watching this and thinking, that's exactly how it feels, no, you're not alone. Millions feel like it. Silently. And if you have ever wondered why doing everything right still leaves you stuck, now you have the answer. The problem was never you, it was the structure. And understanding that gives you the first step toward freedom. So ask yourself, what would your life feel like if you stopped blaming yourself? If you looked at your money, your stress, your choices, and simply said, this isn't personal, this is the system. The clarity that comes from that stuff isn't motivational fluff, it's liberating. And it's that kind that changes how you live. Quietly, powerfully, every day. But even if you manage $4,000 perfectly, there is a reason why you still feel like you're losing. It's because while our income stopped making change, the experts didn't change their script. They're being given 1980s solutions for a 2026 crisis. In my next video, I'm tearing down the entire industry of financial advice, from latte factor gaslighting to the guru industrial complex, to show you why the advice you're hearing is actually made to keep you stuck. I think you need to hear that. And if you want more honest conversations about money, psychology, and the truths nobody advertises, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.